I think getting an education will help me achieve my goals because on paper, having an education is a lot better than just having the experience to an employer. I have ADHD and it affects me in things like school, work, just normal daily activities because I can't really focus on one task without getting distracted and doing other things. I would let my learning disabilities affect my education in high school, and usually I would just get too distracted with my friends or my phone, other things such as like doodling. So I really wouldn't complete my work. When I let my learning abilities affect me, it really just felt dreading, and I had a bunch of stuff piled up that I knew I needed to do, but didn't know where to start. An average school day for me, I get to class. An average school day for me, I get to school about 3 hours prior to my class, and I find a spot to study. And between each assignment that I complete, I move from study spot to study spot so that I don't get too anxious being in one spot for too long. An average school day for me, before I let my learning disabilities control me, was when I was in high school. I would get to school and I would get distracted with my friends right away and really just wouldn't complete any assignments. I'd fall asleep in my classes and just really let it overtake my education. Whenever I'm studying, I get distracted with things such as my phone, just other things around the house, practically anything because of the ADHD. And usually, what I'll do is I'll turn on some music on my computer where I have to do my homework. So the music that I like is there, and I want to stay more in the area. So I'll usually complete it better whenever I turn music on. Music helps me focus. I usually avoid the distractions with the music, and that's been the best way I found to cope. Either with that, or I'll try to seclude myself in an area where I can't be distracted. I use my ADHD to my advantage now during this year by focusing on multiple tasks at one time, but without not completing the task, I complete the task. Sometimes, if I need to get multiple things done and I know it needs to be done that day, I'll open multiple windows and do them, and I just use it to my advantage like that because the disability. What I'm trying to say is like the disability consists of like, what do you call it? Focusing on multiple things at one time, but not finishing that. But if you finish those, then it becomes, better. This semester in college, I'm ensuring that I pass by keeping a notebook, this little black notebook that I write all of my assignments due for the month, and I cross them out as I go so that I stay on track. The agenda is step by step what I have to do, and I follow it by. I'm gonna use my ADHD to my advantage in my future job. I plan to open a steakhouse, which I know is a very high stress environment, but I believe with the ADHD, I can focus on all the things without getting too overwhelmed. In a restaurant job, you have multiple tables with different orders, different stuff to make, and you're going to have to be able to remember all those things at one time. So if my mind is working like that already, then it shouldn't be too hard in the restaurant industry. I'm going to college for business management, and I plan to open my own steakhouse in the near future. The steps I'm going to use to pass throughout this school year and succeed is mainly the notebook thing. I think that that's a big help, and it keeps me on track to be able to visually see what I need done and just keeping my grades as high as I can. The two people in my life that inspire me the most are my mom and dad because they came from nothing and were able to do it. So if they did it, I can. Saying this answer is easy. A perfect day for me would be where I have to do nothing but go to the gym, go home. And that would be a perfect day. I mean, yeah. Like what more do you have to do? You can, yeah, you get to do what you like. In my future, I think having the whole day where I could just go to the gym and go home is going to be when I'm a boss and I'm running the company not through me, but through other people. And I have people that I've already employed and built it up to more of an empire rather than a family owned business. The steps I'm taking to achieve this future is to just make sure that I stay on points with my study and continue them until I get the highest degree I can. and maintain the grasp that I have on my ADHD and keep on using it to my advantage and not let it get a hold of me. When I let my education slip behind me was in high school, when I had gotten held back because I wouldn't focus on any of the tasks. And that was very dreadful because it just felt like a lot of weight on my shoulders that couldn't be taken off. But eventually I made it through and I was able to cope with my ADHD from that point on. Yeah, nothing that I learned in high school is negative. I think it was only me that was making it negative because I had a disability that I wasn't really too known over. Like, I didn't know how to control it, and it was more just overtaking me in high school. So nothing that I learned was bad. It was just bad actions and choices. Getting control of my studies made me just a lot more confident. Makes me confident seeing that I have all A's and that I'm passing, that everything's on track. So it's just a lot better. My plan to keep myself on track is to just keep myself up to schedule. Things like the notebook, even if it's just a notebook, calendar, a syllabus for myself, to just make sure that I can visually see what I need to do rather than keeping it in my head and forgetting about it. Uh, that's like a genuine question. With midterms coming up, I don't think I'm too prepared for them, but I know I will be by the time they're up. I know I work better under pressure. I think I'll pass the midterms. Yeah. No, I won't let ADHD control my life because I'd already let that happen and it brought me to what felt like my lowest point. Working out relaxes me because I waste all my energy inside the gym, and when I get home, I feel like I only want to chill out. So I get on my computer and I do my homework, and I don't feel like moving from that spot because I'm tired. And nighttime's the best time for me to study because there's no going outside, there's no making much noise because everybody's asleep, and I just have to sit there and focus on what I need to do. There's a lot less distractions in the world at night. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nobody's out. There's nobody like posting things on Instagram. There's nobody doing all that. And the whole world's asleep. Yeah, sometimes I stay up late just to make sure that I have no other worldly distractions because everybody else is asleep and I'm the only one up. There's no way that I can be distracted. It feels a lot better knowing that I gained control of my life because if I didn't, I would just still be doing the same thing that I was before. I probably would have never graduated high school or gone into college because I just would have let things distract me because it wasn't what I necessarily wanted to do. It was what I had to do. To continue growing, I'm gonna just make sure that I can get, if possible, at least a master's degree in school. I think having that will be a lot better look on not just employers but to also customers, and keep my credit score up, keep my life good, make sure that I could get loans from the bank so I could succeed in the business that I want to open. If I could go back in time and speak to my younger self, I would tell him to use his ADHD to his advantage to focus on multiple tasks at one time rather than getting off track on one task.